Well, good morning. Welcome to High Maintenance Shenanigans. On my way to Oshkosh. Pulled into a hotel in North Platte last night. Now we're going to head off on down the road for Marengo, Illinois, and shake hands with Mike Kellner. So stand by. Well, in just a couple of seconds, you'll be there. Well, day 3, I don't know how well you're going to hear this. It's pretty windy. But day 3 here in Illinois, I'm at a farm. And I'm here with Mr. Mike Kellner. Don't walk away from me.
How you doing?
Yeah, how are you guys doing? This is Mike.
This is Chris.
This is Chris.
How y'all doing?
And I'm standing out here we're standing out here at the side of Mike's hangar with my Mary Lou, an A-26. I showed you in a video just last week, I think, of how this thing crashed in. Well, this is what's left of the airplane. And beside that is an old Recon Cougar. Is it for sale also, Mike?
Yes, sir.
So, looking for some lucky individual that would like to take on a project of immense proportions, because Mike has another project that he's working on. Let's go inside. So I'm in the room where all of the brain power goes on. They've got drawers and drawers and drawers of blueprints and thinking, and a lot of noodling goes into this stuff.
Yep, trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Because there aren't many parts that you can go and pull off the shelf anywhere.
No, especially airframe.
Yeah. So let's go wander around the shop a little bit. And you can see there's a great big airplane in here. And this has been a labor of love for 40 years.
Yep.
So right now they're working on
Bulkhead 4.
for the bomb. This is the front of the bomb bay. And then once this is done, then you can talk about putting the fuselage together.
Yes.
Most of the structure is done up in the nose. A lot of stuff's been done in the back, but the build on this thing is just meticulous. I love it. And of course, I've always had a soft spot in my heart for B-17s. One of my first models was the Revell B-17 in 172nd, had all the movable everything.
Right.
I made engine noises back then. I've grown out of that.
I did too. My wife said
This is a nacelle here.
this is an engine nacelle. Yep.
This would be for the landing gear
Yes.
bay.
Number 3.
Number 3. And there's a frame for the radio compartment. Yeah.
That's a spare.
Oh, I didn't mean for you to uncover this, but
All right.
okay. And they're keeping.
Pictures, might as well see it, huh?
Well, I suppose so. But they're keeping everything covered up because they're doing some dirt work around here, and everything gets dusty, kind of like high maintenance does. So this is a viable engine mount.
Yep.
That's great. So a stinger tail, which in my mind is much more sexy than the Cheyenne tail.
Oh, yeah. We've got the site is all
Yeah, cool. And no hydraulics.
they were balanced.
Yeah,
Everybody thinks these are flash suppressors.
they're weights.
They're weights to balance the guns.
I didn't know that. And they've got pilot seats here. And then another nacelle is where the wings are being restored. These are the outer wing panels. And this is a TBF wing that was hurt real bad. There's their left wing in the works. And this is just a huge building. And there's the other wing over there. Well, okay. I'm going to finish my tour around here. This was really, really cool. I love B-17s. But I've got to get pressing on to Oshkosh to meet you guys. Oh,
Get a picture
hang
of
on.
that. That's the original skin from the B-17.
Oh,
All the different iterations of the star on there.
no kidding. In different colors.
Mm-hmm.
Star used to be there. So, is there something? What was this airplane? Did it ever do anything but do bombing?
No, it was actually a trainer. It was attached to the 97th Bomb Group, which was the first group to go over to England.
Okay.
It came out of the factory without a ball turret in it
Oh, really?
because they were short on ball turrets.
Oh,
So one would go out with a ball turret, next one wouldn't have one, next one, it was random.
okay.
So they trained down in MacDill,
Okay.
the 97th.
Okay.
When they decided to go overseas, they left this plane here.
Okay.
So for its first probably year of service, it was a training airplane.
Okay.
It was in MacDill, went up to Walla Walla. I think it was in Texas. It was all over the country. And then the Army put out a spec that they wanted to try putting or making the B-17 into a cargo
Okay.
hauler, litter carrier, whatever.
Right.
So they converted 3 or 4 B-17s. This one they actually made into a litter carrier at first. It went over to India
Okay.
and was flying the hump in and out of China with wounded and carrying people and cargo and stuff.
Okay.
After a few months over there, they decided to bring it back to the States. It went up to Bangor, Maine,
Okay.
and it was basically a cargo hauler.
Did it have the big doors that?
Yeah, they put a big door in the side.
Mm-hmm.
They took out all the armament. They took the Bombay racks out, and they put a separate floor in there.
Oh.
And they made the nose hinged, and they could carry people up in the nose too.
Wow. This airplane.
This airplane.
Wow.
So
It's pretty unique.
yeah. So at the end of the war, they put it up for scrap.
And that's when the
And
people.
that's the guy in Maine who owned a junkyard, auto junkyard, bought like 30 some airplanes from the military, and they scrapped them all except for the B-17 and the B-25.
Oh, and that's the B-25 you have here as well.
Mm-hmm.
That I didn't know. I knew about this, but
Yeah.
I didn't know how colorful this
Yeah.
airplane was. And let's
But
see.
you can see all the iterations of the star. Originally, the star was just a blue background with the white star and then a red center to it, which you can kind of see the
Right.
difference of it.
Right.
Then they put the, what do you call them? The
Those bars.
bars on it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then there was only like a 3 or 4 month period where they put the red surround around everything.
Okay.
And then, if you can see the other blue one there on the left,
Mm-hmm.
they went back to the blue with the white star and just a basic blue and white star. They moved
Interesting.
it for some reason. I don't know why they moved it.
Yeah.
But-
Makes no sense.
Yeah. And then it was part of the Air Transport Command. You can see
Okay.
there.
Yeah, and another one up there.
Yep. That's the other side.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Chris, thank you, sir. And I'm going to
Sure.
say my adieus to Mike.
yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Oh, this has been great. Well, Mike, it's been a heck of a journey here. I sure appreciate you taking your time because I know you've got things to do, and same as I do.
Always stuff to do. Can't seem to catch up.
But I do appreciate you letting us take a tour of this place, and hopefully
No
we'll be
problem.
back.
Very good.
Hurry up.
We're trying.
By the way, the Panther and the A-26 are for sale if you know anybody that's interested in them. He needs money.
And we need somebody to save some other pieces of history.
That's right. Yeah, well spoken. So we're here at the we're here at Oshkosh, and there's been so much smoke that it's been really difficult for airplanes to get in here because they didn't have the visibility.
In the background.
Max would like to let you know how corny I am. I mean, Doug. Hey, I'm so confused for driving for 1,500 miles.
One of the Midwest locals has said, it's been so dry, this is poor corn.
Wow.
This does not look good. And
They haven't been to Utah.
Texas looked at it and goes, man, that looks really good to me. Yeah, locals said,
There they are.
That's cool.
Well, made it to Oshkosh. Very smoky, but we have some old town favorites. Hold on. There's a B-25, C-47 from our friends at Vintage Flying Museum. Should be able to find Patrick Mahaffey over here. And over here is the airplane formerly Keck in the Ass, now owned by Ty Ramey. Well, apparently the smoke has abated a little bit, and all kinds of airplanes are arriving. T-34s, T-6s, RVs. Just airplane after airplane after airplane. They've been arriving for 10 minutes. Must have been 50 airplanes just all of a sudden, all over the place. We're walking through the Warbird Pavilion. There's a P-47, P-51, a Corsair, PBY Catalina, Red Bull P-38. Exciting times.
And folks, it's Nate here from the High Maintenance Crew live at Oshkosh Warbird Plaza. And we got Millionaires down here at the end, Hell's Bell in the middle, and then Silver Dragon with her triumphant return back to Oshkosh this year. So it's a lot of fun. Wish we could get more, but next year we'll invade Oshkosh with the invaders. So till next time.
Right, and also straight away, we have all of our mass formations arriving correctly. Time on target. Right now, we are so excited to have them here. We're within 30 seconds. We're about to cross that right now. We have
Well, I'm out here in the sun at Oshkosh. It is really windy, and just had a really nice dinner. Our local chapter, EAA 23, put on a great feed. Some of the best chicken I've ever had in my life. I love it. But our travels are over. We're getting ready to go home, and but I did meet some interesting people.
Oh man.
Oh yes.
Yep. Oh gosh. Linking up again.
This is Jawanza.
Hello.
His YouTube channel is
Open Source GA, Open Source General Aviation, or Georgia, depending on where you are. I don't know.
So tell us about your channel. What is it you want to tell the public?
In a nutshell, we are trying to save general aviation from itself or ourselves. Because I find that we're putting a lot of roadblocks ahead of us where the FAA are giving us tools that we're not ready to use. And I've got a particular set of skills that I think I can share with the community to help us interpret things, figure out what the future is going to look like for parts and parts availability. You know, all of the tools that we have, the 3D scanning, reverse engineering, metallurgy, and we're going to try to put that stuff together to help people who are trying to rescue old airplanes, small airplanes, big airplanes, fast airplanes, slow airplanes. And I want to do that with the community. So I started a channel, and it's been working out nicely ever since. Yes, that's me.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to drop a link to his channel. Pretty interesting stuff. The things that he talks about have probably real-world consequences for all you aircraft owners out there.
Yeah, we're going to try our very best to ensure that your 60-year-old airplane, 70-year-old airplane has a future and is viable for a very long time to come. And I'm hoping to support you in that mission.
Great.
Yeah, good to see you, Bob.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jawanza. It's a pleasure. All right, well, so I'm going to sign off, and we'll see you back at the bomber, and getting excited for some things to come. Stay tuned.